That's good. Everybody just take a breath here. Come into the space. Let yourself relax. Sometimes it feels good just to let yourself tune in and relax. The ego is nothing but the conversation that we're having with ourselves and our mind. You better know that conversation. Take another breath. Welcome to the Course in Miracles, live on Facebook. Welcome my mighty companions online and my mighty companions in the room. Enthusiasm is permitted. Being alive is permitted, I know. But I don't know about you, but it feels real intense in the world right now. It's real intense in our personal experience right now. So I really would love for you to breathe. Just take a deep breath right now. I'm Earl Purdy. And welcome to the Course in Miracles. Ask yourself 3 questions. What is my purpose? What did I come here today for? What do I want to come out of this class today? What is my purpose for coming here to the Course in Miracles today? What do I want to come out of coming to this class today? Why did I come? What do I want to come out of this? What did I come here for? What is my purpose? What do I want to come out of this? What is this for? And really take a moment to think about it. Why did I come here today? Did I come to give and receive? Or did I come to get? Did I come to get? Or did I come to give? Did I come to give and receive? We're going to be on page 136. In the text. Last week we talked about the state of grace. And what it talked about was how we can always tell if we're listening to the Holy Spirit. How we can tell if we are listening to our higher self. And it said that if we were truly listening to our higher self, if we were truly listening to God, then it says that what's going to happen is you're going to be joyful. It's going to be the easiest thing in the world. that it will be the only thing in the world that's easy, and that it will be natural. So if you're listening to your guidance, you are experiencing ease and joy, and it feels natural. And it says in your natural state, there is no order of difficulty. So immediately I was able to get in touch with where I'm being natural, where I'm actually listening to the Holy Spirit, and where I'm not. It's where I'm struggling, where I see it as difficult. I know I'm not following the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Where I am feeling ease and joy, according to this, I am listening to the guidance of my higher power, which is love. And then it says, grace is the natural state of every child of God. When you are not in a state of grace, you're out of your natural environment. And do you know that the way you can tell when you're not in your natural environment is that you don't function well? So where I am not functioning well, would this be where I am out of my natural environment, according to the Course? I really understand that why the Course in Miracles can be a challenge for people to study, because it's almost impossible to hide when you study the Course. It's hard to be in denial, you know. And that's why I always encourage people, you know, those of you who've been thinking about reading the Course, please take advantage of my almost 4 decades of obsession with it, to ask me questions about how to study the Course, if you have any questions about the material itself or understanding what we're talking about. Because what it's doing is it's constantly trying to teach us the difference between love and fear, when we are really in truth and when we're not in the truth. It says that once we know the difference between what's true and what's not, then we'll make the choice for what's true. But the problem is we don't know the difference. And it says we miss the most obvious clue of all when you're not practicing the truth is pain. So wherever I'm experiencing pain and upset, that's where I'm not seeing the truth. So we were told that in our natural state, you are in a state that you function well. And when you're not functioning well, you're out of your natural environment. I think that's interesting. You're out of your natural environment. So you could apply that to a lot of things. If I'm in a relationship that's not the right relationship for me, that's a relationship that I'm out of my natural environment. And it says when you're in something that's out of your natural environment, it says everything you do becomes a strain. So if I'm in a relationship that's not my natural relationship, it's a strain. If I'm in a job that's not really what I'm supposed to be doing, it's a strain. If I'm in any situation that is a strain, what did the Course say is happening? I'm out of my natural environment. So when you find out how wrong you're doing it, don't use that to beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up if you're not in your natural relationship, not in your natural environment, not in a natural financial situation, not in a natural health situation, not in a natural job situation. The answer is not to condemn yourself for that. Don't blame yourself for that. Don't beat yourself up about that. It's important that you just find out where you are. And it's also important for me to know I'm not listening to the voice of love, that love isn't guiding me right now. It's not love that's guiding me when I'm out of my natural environment. Do you know that it is fear that's guiding you, or guilt, or anger? If your life is a strain, wherever it is, you don't have any joy, where you look at it as being hard, where you look at it as not easy, when it's going against your nature, when you're out of a state of grace, you don't function well, it's a strain. And then the Course in Miracles says, now I'm going to tell you why everything you do becomes a strain. Because you were not created for the environment you have made. In other words, You are the one making up your happiness. He says, you are making up. Isn't that what we do though? Don't we get up every day and then come up with what we think is going to make us happy? Haven't we been doing that as long as we've been on the planet? But okay, that's why nothing's been easy. That's a radical concept. Because I used to think that I was being asked to sacrifice if I was being told that I didn't know how to make me happy. That I had to give up what I thought the things would be that would make me happy. I thought I was being asked to sacrifice my happiness. And in the Course in Miracles says, actually, you've already sacrificed your happiness. I'm asking you to get rid of the sacrifice of your happiness. You already have sacrificed your happiness. In the part of the Course that he calls the happy learner, he says to become a happy learner, you have to realize you're miserable. I love this book. You know, it's like, y'all need to realize y'all jokers miserable. Y'all not really happy. That's the first step. Okay? And he says, and what you keep trying to do is you keep trying to make misery happiness. You keep trying to make the thing you don't like into something that you like. Right? Yeah. And that's what we kind of were taught, that's what spiritual growth. I don't like my mama. I got to make myself like her. I don't like my job. We think it's about making misery happiness. And the Course in Miracles says to us, well, no, if you're going to be a happy learner, you can't feel guilty about learning. Right. So if you're ever going to be happy as a learner, you got to stop beating yourself up every time you make a mistake or every time you see that you didn't do it the way you thought you were going to do it. Sorry, on the path of love, beating yourself up, criticizing yourself, judging yourself, he says, that is not going to work. So I'm sorry. On the path of love, nobody wants to punish you. Nobody wants to judge you. Nobody wants to put you down because you make mistakes. But we're coming out of a system that's all about judging you when you make a mistake. So we still think that judgment is part of the process. And he says that keeps you from being a happy learner because you're so afraid of making a mistake. You know, if you weren't afraid to make mistakes in relationships, maybe you'd have one. You're looking for the perfect relationship that you're absolutely assured beforehand that it's going to go perfectly the way you want it to go, and couldn't possibly be the wrong choice whatsoever. I got to know everything about it. It's perfect before I'll try to enter the relationship. You know, but if I wanted to give love, I couldn't have a bad relationship because I would feel the love I was giving, and the love I was giving would feel satisfied because I would feel the love I was feeling for you. So just me letting the love come through me would be my reward, would be my thrill. But if I'm a getter and a bargainer, in other words, I am not using love to guide me truly in my relationships, then I'm in relationships that don't function well, relationships that seem difficult, relationships that are not easy, not natural, and it's not a relationship that I'm giving myself joy in. So the Course says everything you do become a strain because you were not created for the environment you have made. Check this out. You, therefore, cannot adapt to it. Have you been trying to adapt to unhappy, hard environments? He was saying you can't adapt to an environment that you made to make yourself happy. The Course says, nor can you adapt it to you. I can't adapt to you and you can't adapt to me if it's a relationship I made. If it's a relationship I made, we're always trying to adapt. If I'm in some environment that's not my natural environment, I'm having to adapt. Right? If it's not natural for me to be in an environment that's 15 degrees below zero, I'm going to adapt by wearing a coat and trying to have some heat. See, when you're not in your natural environment, you have to adapt. We're adapting all the time, are we not? Could this not be our natural environment? could this not be our natural environment?
I'm going to say
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Hopefully. And then the Course in Miracles says, I love this. I'm going slow because it's more important that we hear one sentence and utilize that than hear a lot of stuff that we're going to forget about. Right? I could cover 3 pages that you could forget, or I could cover 3 paragraphs that you forget. Because if you know what I'm talking about, you do forget most of what is said in A Course in Miracles. If you be honest with yourself, as soon as you walk out of that door, 90% of what you just heard, you forget. Because we go back to what? What we're making up, which is deep. Okay. That's why they have replays. That's why I record it. Okay? So the Course in Miracles says you can adapt an unnatural environment to yourself. You can adapt to it. It can't adapt to you. There is no point in trying to adapt to an unnatural environment. You, a child of God, you are happy only when you know you are with God. It's like you're only going to truly be happy when you know you're with love, when you know you're with that which created you. That's the only happiness according to the Course. You are happy only when you know. I'm not happy only when I know I'm with a person or a thing. I am happy only when I know I am with love, with God, with my Creator. Doesn't mean I already feel that way. Doesn't mean I already believe that's true. If we already believed it was true, it wouldn't be any need for us to be here. So we are going to be hearing about states of consciousness that maybe we haven't achieved yet. So to be a happy learner, won't we have to make that okay? Yeah. If you're going to be a happy learner, you're going to have to make it be okay to hear about love that you aren't giving. Intelligence that you're not showing. Consistency that you're not doing. And so to somebody who doesn't want to be honest enough to get past the block, then it's going to sound negative to you because you're hearing what you already think about yourself. If you think that way about yourself. Are you with me? Yes. All right. So I'm glad to know that I don't have to try to adapt myself to environments that are miserable for me. That I don't need to try to spend all my time trying to adapt people to me and me to people or situations that are not easy, that I'm not functioning well. It is perfectly okay to recognize misery and go the other way. It's okay to recognize misery and not analyze it, not process it, not stick around in it forever. It is okay if you're hiking and you see a mountain lion coming towards you to go the other way. Right. That's right. And don't run. Which is like so counterintuitive. Nothing is more counterintuitive. I used to be a telephone repairman and I went to pole climbing school. And they said at the top of the pole, they had the little spikes on my heels. They said, now if you cut out, that's what we call it, you cut out and you up there on the pole, don't grab the pole. Counterintuitive. That would be the first, you know why? Because if you grab the pole and it's a wooden pole, what's going to happen? Right. So the same thing is true about the truth. We're being asked to do things that seem to be counterintuitive, like moving towards somebody who's kind. It's ridiculous how much we don't invest in people who are loving and how much we go toward the people who are unavailable and deny us. It is ridiculous. You know, how can I tell I'm beginning to love myself more? I invest my time more in the people who invest energy in me. I don't go after what I can't have. I only want to do with you what I can do. Because I'm guaranteed to have an experience right now of what I already have. Everything else is in the future, which is where it doesn't exist. So one of the signs you love yourself is you become more present. You listen to the voice of love, and you watch the joy and the ease and lack of difficulty begin to leave your life, and you tell yourself, I'm not functioning well, so I'm out of my natural environment. I'm only going to be happy when I'm with the truth. I'm only going to be happy when I'm with God. I'm only going to be happy when I'm with love, real love. All right? And then it says, this is the only environment in which you will not experience strain. So what is the environment in which you will not experience strain? When you are with God. You can use the word creator, or you can use the word love, or you can use the word universe, or you can use the words all that is, used to be, was, might be tomorrow, or whatever y'all need to say, except for the word God. Okay? It's so funny. Me, I'm just going to cut to the chase. God. Okay, but I do remember when I had a resistance to saying all the stuff I'm saying to you very matter-of-factly. Believe me. When I first got into the course, I had all the things I hear most newbies have. The Christian terminology, the masculine terminology, they say that, and all it's like you are dying of poison, right? You've been poisoned, okay? And then the guy comes up with the antidote. And it's going to give you the antidote. And you go, oh, no, I can't take the antidote. It's in a red glass. That's the way it is when I hear people talking about the form of the way course is written. Oh, even if you could get the answer that could save your life, because it's written in this language, you don't want it. That's like you having be poisoned, and I'm going to give you the antidote, and you said, I don't want it because it needs to be in a blue cup. That's how dumb that is.
Yeah. It's not gluten-free.
And it's got to be gluten-free antidote. The course says, please don't underestimate how crazy y'all are. The biggest mistake y'all make is y'all underestimate how totally insane the world is. People can be at a mosque worshiping God, and then somebody comes in and shoots 50 of them to death. Right. We're in the church right now. Don't worry about it. Nobody's going to come anywhere near us. Because we're really scary. We want to believe that we're innocent, and we want to believe that our Creator is unconditional love and doesn't condemn us, and we are one. We don't have to worry about too many people coming toward us. Don't worry about that. Matter of fact, they feel like their soul depends on not having nothing to do with y'all. That's how they keep it from going to hell, is they don't hang out with none of us. It's funny. It's so funny. That's right, Jim. God. It's funny. Okay. How do you know when you're in an environment in which you will not experience strain? I love this. Because that's where you belong. You belong in a relationship that's not a strain. You belong in whatever you're expressing yourself in that's not a strain. But when you're used to everything being a strain, either, this is kind of hard to take, because you go, well, that means I've been spending years in the wrong perception. I've been spending most of my life in the wrong. Yes, you have. And what we're doing is we're right now in the now moment. Let's stop. Okay. Let's stop. Right. And so then it says, it is also the only environment that's worthy of you. The only environment that's worthy of you is an environment that is loving you. That's the only environment that's worthy of you, is one where you're not being judged and attacked, and guilt trips and fear trips are being put on you, or you feel like you're unsafe. Okay? The Course says that it is also the only environment that is worthy of you. You don't deserve to be in relationships where you're not loved and appreciated and valued. You don't deserve to be anywhere you're not valued. You know why? Because your own value is beyond anything you can make. You can never create anything that's good enough for you. Haven't you noticed? Haven't you noticed?
Yeah.
Why do you think you're dissatisfied in whatever area you're dissatisfied? Some part of you believe you deserve better than what you're receiving. And he's saying, you're right. You'll always deserve more than what you make up for you.
Yeah.
That's deep, man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how good your life is right now. You deserve more than what you came up with. It's what we were just told. That's a loving thought. I can never give you what you deserve. And you just told me that yesterday. And that's the truth. I cannot give you all what you deserve, so don't even be looking at me to give it to you. Look to God. Look to God for everything you're looking for somebody else to give you, and God will come through that person and give it to you. See, I want to be loved. I'm not going to say it can't come through everybody. I'm willing to have love come to me through every one of you. Because if it's love, it won't be a strain, it won't be difficult, and we won't be having challenges. So loving everybody is not difficult. Being special with everybody is. And that's why people back away from the idea of loving more than one person, because they don't realize they're thinking being special with more than one person. And that is a strain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if they all got the same birthday. So love is easy. Specialness is hard. Love doesn't have demands and commands and is not trying to get you to do anything you don't want to do. Somebody that loves you would want you to do your will. So how could it be hard being with somebody who wants you to be free to be you and doesn't try to make you feel guilty because of the choices you make about how you want to express yourself? What's hard about that? I had a relationship one time that broke up. The person said I was high maintenance.
Oh my God.
Could you believe that? Me. And in my mind, I'm going, okay, I said you can do what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to do it, who you want to do it. And you're innocent. And how is that high maintenance? It's high maintenance if the person is treating you in a way that's not natural for them.
Yeah.
And because they're being the way they really don't want to be, because they're trying to be a certain way to have you, you are strained. So it looks like you are high maintenance. I realized I was high maintenance because that person was not being true to themselves. They were trying to be the way that they thought I wanted them to be. And so that was a strain. And so it looked like I was high maintenance, like I was making demands that it was hard for them to give. You follow me? That's what happens when a person is being inauthentic with you in a relationship. You are high maintenance for them. Because maybe they're jealous, but they're trying not to act that way. Because they think that you are doing jealousy, or maybe you can't handle jealousy. So they start to do something that is unnatural for them, and then you appear to be high maintenance for them. Because they're expecting something other than God to make them happy. And you're it. Because you're supposed to give them the specialness that God did not give them. God loves us all equally. So therefore, if you want more love than the rest of us, then you got to try to find a relationship with somebody that does that. Because God is not going to love you more than me. So I'm sorry. If you need to be loved more, then love will never satisfy you. And specialness always comes at a price. Guilt. Because that's how special relationships, that's how people manipulate each other, is through anger and guilt. I'll be angry and make you feel guilty, and you'll do what I want you to do. Because you're not treating me special enough. But see, if I'm with God, I don't need you to treat me special. If I'm with love, I'm so whole, nothing is missing, so therefore I don't need you. I can have preferences, but I don't need you to be any kind of way for my satisfaction. And if I'm free, then I'm free to have that experience with whoever wants to have that experience with me, even if you don't. So I'm still not sacrificing anything. I hate cake, but I only want you to eat cake with me. And you better not eat no cake with nobody else, even though I hate cake. That's what we do relationships, special ones. Even if I'm not going to fulfill that need, I don't even want anybody else to fulfill it, especially if they're of the same sex as you. You know? But when you begin to love yourself, it's not hard to free others. As I love myself more, I love freeing others since they already are.
Exactly.
So I'm just recognizing what's already there and is. But here's the part I like about it, is it requires less and less of you when you love people. It's actually hard work to not love people. See, when you love someone, since it's a total experience of giving freedom, then actually, and you know you're responsible for your happiness and they're responsible for theirs, then there's not as much for you to do as it is when you're with somebody who expects you to make them happy because they need validation from you because they don't love themselves. You got to work all the time with them people, and it's like throwing water down a bottomless pit. You never can show them enough. It's deep. So love is easy. Specialness is a challenge. Okay? So the Course in Miracles says you can't make an environment that's worthy enough for you because you are so valuable you don't think highly enough of yourself to give you what you deserve. That's what this book is saying. That's some good stuff. Now, at first you hear these things and it's not the way you feel about yourself maybe, which means you're surrounded probably by people who also haven't completely accepted that. So it will sound like a fantasy when you first hear these ideas. But these ideas are seeds. And so you're planting these ideas. And if you nurture them by loving them and remembering them, they will produce fruit just like any other seed. But we want to eat fruit that we didn't plant.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Before I go to the next paragraph, which is even more intense, any comments or questions about what I've said so far?
Well, I thought it was fun when you brought in the high maintenance. What came to me was that high maintenance living is living outside of my natural design.
That's right.
So anything that I feel like is high maintenance, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just outside of my natural design.
I didn't get up this morning and go, all right, let me work on being black today. It's my natural environment. Now you would have had a problem with it. Okay, just a little bit, just a little bit though. You're Italian. Okay. I know that. I understand. I know that. You know what I'm saying? It's like what's natural to you is no strain. So if you have people in your life saying the way you are really is helpful and wonderful, that is a blessing because you aren't doing anything. You're just being. And to be surrounded by people who appreciate you just for you being you, that's your natural environment. Your natural environment, I'm not saying if you were different, I would be happy. You want to wipe yourself out? Come at me with that one. Yes.
I like when you said love is easy, because that is a good reminder, and the whole concept of love being freedom, because when I think of people, I think, I love you, I free you, I love you, I free you, I love you, I free you, and that's how I practice loving unconditionally, because I don't want to project on people anymore.
I know, and you have to be able to handle that in-between period when it don't seem like nobody interested in you.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
how long is that supposed to last?
as long as you want it. As long as you want it to last, it'll last. Because sometimes it's scary. Because you'll go through this period and it look like, what, people dropping away. I'm not seeing as many people as I thought. Because it takes a minute for you to start to draw those people to you who are feeling the way you do. Because you see in the past, you were surrounded by people who you used to think the exact same way they do. And so you don't condemn them because it'd be condemning yourself. And just like you woke up, they will. You know, all the popcorn and the popcorn popper don't pop at the same time. Some kernels pop first. Sometimes you the last kernel. You the last kernel. We are all waiting for you to pop. Yeah, it's like all of us. It's like if I wanted to go through that door, I can't leave my foot behind. All of me has to go through the door for me to have gone through the door. That's us. We're one. All of us have to make it. Yeah. There's no one left out. All of us are included in the love. And even though there's some people I don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about. The one that you see them in King Super and you go down the other aisle. You know what I'm talking about. You know, the person you get irritated just to think about them. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else before I go to the deep paragraph?
Bring it.
Are you in your natural environment? Is this hard for you? Are you in the wrong class? Okay. If you go, this is hell. This is not your class. This might not be your natural class, you know. Miss Quanah.
So, Earl, when some have said that the relationship can shift with the same person, and it's reflective of the shifts going on within yourself. So, if there's a case where there's a relationship where there's moments of great joy and it's easy, and then moments of not.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
There are moments when I'm looking at you correctly and practicing the truth, and there are moments when I'm not. And that's why relationships go back and forth. Yeah. 1 minute we're looking at them through the eyes of love, and 1 minute we're looking at them through the eyes of fear, and then 1 minute we're looking at them through the eyes of love, and 1 minute we're looking at them through the eyes of fear. And if I'm looking at you through fear, then I know I'm not listening to the guidance of love. That's why it's not easy right now. And I've forgotten that I can only be happy with God. Because remember, I'm only getting upset with you when I'm angry with you because you aren't acting out a script that I've written for you that I think is going to make me happy. But you betrayed me means you're not doing what I want you to do. You're not acting like I want you to act. You betrayed me. I've come up with a script for you that you're not acting out. Even if you agreed you were. But how many things have we all said we were going to do and didn't do? Come on now. Come on now. Why do we hold each other to standards that we know we don't even keep? Think about that. You know, I expect you to be perfect and never make a mistake. And I make mistakes. But when I make the mistake, I should be forgiven. When you make the mistake, you should be hung from the highest tree. We are the soul of compassion. I love how the Course in Miracles says, it wouldn't be fair for me to leave your salvation up to your brothers and sisters. I said, that's right. That's what a sane, loving man would tell me, that you would not make my healing dependent on these folk who also don't know how to do unconditional love. Right? Right. That's the kind of stuff that turned me on about the Course. It would say stuff like that. Don't you worry about how this is going to happen. You know, I'm going to heal you. Don't you worry about how. What you worry about anything is a little bit of willingness to let it happen and to learn how to get out the way so I can heal you. That's what y'all's job is, to get the heck out the way. Like my mom used to say, hey, boy, go over there and sit down in that corner so I can go ahead and fix this food. And that's what God said to y'all. Why don't y'all go and sit down somewhere? Stop peeing on yourself. So, ready for the next paragraph?
Yes.
Okay. Consider the kingdom you've made and judge its worth fairly. Consider the life, the love you made for yourself. Consider it. Consider your situation right now. and look at your situation fairly. Okay, that's what we're going to do. You ready? Is the kingdom, the situation, the circumstance that you have made, is it worthy to be the home of a child of God? Your kingdom, your personal experience, that's your kingdom. Is it really worthy of a child of love? Is it just, then the Course in Miracles says, and I am going to really explain to you what I mean by that. Here we go. In other words, does the home you've made, does the environment you made, does it protect your peace? And does it shine love on you? Does your environment protect your peace? Does your environment don't just do regular love, it does shining love? Now, it's not saying regular love, does it shine love on you? Is it radiating love on you? Does the environment or the kingdom you've made, does it keep your heart untouched by fear? The environment you made, do you have absolutely no fear in your personal life? Then let me see if anybody gonna lie. Come on, let me see you. Come on. Come on, tell me that you just love everybody and everything. You don't have no separation from anything. And I know not to get in the car with you. Okay? Because I don't believe my Creator punishes me like I used to. So it's easy for me to tell the truth about my ego. I don't have any need to pretend to you that my heart is untouched by fear. My heart is not untouched by fear. But it doesn't mean I'm not loved. I loved some people in my life that did not let themselves receive it. They were receiving it, but they didn't receive it. So it didn't mean they weren't being loved. They just weren't aware of it. That's true about us. That's true about you. You are loved more than you love yourself. And so the Course is saying that you can't come up with a love that's worthy of you. You can extend a love that's already been created, but you can't make love. You've never made love with anybody. It's a really erroneous statement. I want to make love to you tonight. You should say, I want to make fear with you tonight. Just with that burning sensation. All right, now. Was that a sexual experience unworthy of me? I lost about 100 viewers. I watched it drop off immediately. Because spiritual people don't talk about STDs. If we didn't have guilt around it, it would heal faster. A cure would be found for things that they say there's not a cure. It's the hiddenness and the guilt that keeps diseases from being healed in terms of the thought behind it. I long for people like you. I long for students and people that come to my class that we can talk real. Talk about the stuff that we deal with every day and still laugh. Because the Course says that's how we got here in the first place. We forgot to laugh. That we took this as a serious idea. Yeah. See, you need to laugh at your lovers. It's all a call for love, no matter what, right? Right? Your sexuality is innocent. Your sexuality is neutral. Your sexuality is innocent. Your sexuality is innocent. The body is innocent. The body is neutral. The body is innocent. Every sexual, sensual experience you've ever given yourself was either love or a call for love. You're innocent. You got to see your body as sinless to achieve the goal of God. You either got to use your body to free your mind, or you're trying to use your mind to free your body. And if you're trying to use your mind to free your body, then you don't know what's valuable. Because your body can never be free. The body is inherently limited in what it can do. There's no such thing as a free body. You know that. Because you just get the money back you spend on bodies. You would have to retire. You can retire tomorrow, right? Just on hairspray alone. Okay. So the Course in Miracles is saying you're either going to use your physical life to free your mind from anger, guilt, grievances, separation, and fear, which allow you to experience love, or all you're doing is you're trying to use your mind to figure out ways to free your body. And if you're trying to just free your body, then you don't know what's truly valuable, because the body is temporary and your spirit and your mind is not. So the Course is saying to us, does the environment that you have made keep your heart untouched by fear? Are you in an environment that allows you to give always and what? Without any sense of loss? So have you created a reality where you can give, but you don't feel like you've lost by giving? Are you so aware of your abundance in your environment that you give without even thinking about losing or having less? And the Course in Miracles says, I love this. Does the environment you've made teach you that this giving is your joy and that your Creator thanks you for your giving? That is the only environment in which you can be happy. So not only does the Course say you can only be happy when you're with love and when you're with God, then it says, let me give you a test so you can tell when you're in the environment that will make you happy. If you're in an environment that will make you happy, it's an environment that you feel completely like your peace is protected, that you feel like you're surrounded by love and it's shining on you all the time. If you're in an environment that you're not afraid at all, and if you're in an environment that you're so abundant that you can give always without any sense of loss, and that this giving is your joy, and that your Creator and the universe is thanking you for your giving, that's the environment that you can truly be happy in. It's one that your heart is untouched by fear, and your peace is protected, and it's easy, and there's no strain, and you're functioning well, and you only know love. Notice that it didn't mention one single material thing. If there was nowhere in there, and a microwave. So really, the environment that would make us happy is a state of mind. The environment that would make us happy is a state of consciousness. And when you have that state of consciousness, then no matter what your physical environment is, you will be happy. See, that's what I want. I want to be happy wherever I am. So if I'm already happy and I'm with you, then I'm happy with you. That's what happy with you means. It doesn't mean I'm happy with you because you're doing what I want you to do, how I want you to do it. I am happy and I'm with you. Right? I'm happy with my automobile. Why? Because I'm happy in my car. So happiness is easy when you look for it where it's located. Everything can be found when you're looking for it where it is. It's a radical concept, right? And then it says, and this is another kick butt sentence, you cannot make it. You cannot make what? You cannot make the environment in which you will be happy. When I first heard that, I didn't like that at all. I'll say it again until we hear it. You can't make yourself happy. You can't make yourself happy. You can't make yourself happy. You can't make the environment that's going to make you happy. You can't make the relationship that's going to make you happy. You can't make a situation that's going to make you happy. The same power that created the cow is the same power that created the grass that feeds the cow at the exact same time. It wasn't like the cow is born and it goes, okay, y'all, let's go and let's see if we can make us some food. We do that. Whatever created us also created simultaneously everything that would sustain us. But then we go, I'm going to make up what sustains me. I'm going to make up what makes me happy. I'm going to make up who makes me happy. And I've decided it's going to be you. Now, the fact that you can't stand me, that's a challenge. But we do it. I've done it. Have you done it?
Yeah.
Sought after someone that didn't want you?
Yes.
Absolutely. We're not as different as we think. We just do the same dumb things at different times. And smart things. We're not all dumb. I got to say that.
Yeah, you gotta say that.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. This is an example of when I wasn't dumb. I came together in love with my brothers and sisters to recognize the truth. This is smart. That's right. And I'll see y'all 3 weeks from now, maybe. I know God's taking care of me. Because the people in my life constantly change. But Spirit provides.
Yes.
You want to try trust? Be a Black Course in Miracles teacher astrologer. That takes a little trust for me to walk out the world and go, this is how I'm going to do it. No. What happened was I was called. I was called. And every one of you have a calling. And you won't be satisfied until you answer the call. And the call is being made all the time. In all of us. And you have your own unique way of God functioning through you that no one else can substitute or replace. And until you do you, you are not going to be happy. As long as you're acting out somebody else's dream and what the world told you you should want and what would make you happy, but you know you're struggling because you're not listening to yourself. You're not listening to your guidance. You don't want yet to be in the environment that you will truly be happy, and that's the environment you connected to Source. God is seen more as a means to get what I want than God being seen as the goal. God is like the genie in the lamp. I rub the belly of the lamp, and then the genie come up, and I tell the genie what I want, and I call it me really tuning into God. I make up what I want, then I tell God, go get it. Go get it, God. Go get it. Go get it. Fetch. That's what humans do. Fetch. Go fetch me that mate. Go fetch me that job. Go fetch me that house. Go fetch me that car. That's why I'm studying the truth, because I want a car. Then I said, God, you decide for me. Then the car doesn't happen. Then I said, God didn't answer my prayer. No, you said, God, decide for me. You didn't need that car. That would have been the worst thing in the world for you that you got that car. That's what you have to look at. You have to get to the point that when you say, I decide for me, Holy Spirit, you have to trust that what is now happening is in divine order, and it is giving you the opportunities you need for the awakening that you must have. That you don't know your own best interest. And just because you want something, that doesn't mean that you should have it. I know. It seems like that, right? But but honest with yourself. Have you ever gotten anything that's ever satisfied you so much you didn't want something else? No.
Not yet.
Okay. So the Course says, I love it, says, this is the only environment in which you'll be happy. You can't make it any more than you can make yourself. You did not create yourself. You did not create yourself. You did not create yourself. You didn't create yourself. Something thought you. Everything you see in this room is the result of a thought. Something thought you. Something wanted you to exist. Think about that. You didn't create yourself, and that's why it says you can't make yourself happy, because you didn't create yourself, and what created you also created what would make you happy. And you won't never be happy until you take the time to learn to hear the voice of your Creator. And you'll end up happier than anything you have ever made or even thought of creating for yourself. You'll start finding yourself in relationships and in situations where you'll be going, my test now is my believing I deserve somebody as cool as this.
That's right.
My believing I deserve a day that's this beautiful with this kind of people in it. You'll have a different kind of test than the test of it looks like I'm not getting what I want to it looks like I'm receiving more than I think I deserve. And that will be what you're dealing with. A part of you will be going, I hope they don't find me out. Because they really have a cool perception of me. They see something in me. I go, are you talking about me? Sometimes people say things to me that I go, what? They're seeing something in me that I don't see in myself. And that's what's going to happen the more you move toward love. And what should you do? What should you do? You should recognize that your Creator is watching over you and your Creator does not deny you anything. Love doesn't deny you anything. Wow. But when you deny your Creator, you don't know that your Creator, if I'm giving you a gift and you deny that I'm here, then you are not going to know this. If I love you and you're denying me, then you're not going to know I'm loving you. So the Course is saying you're not being denied anything. It's just that what? You don't know it because you are denying yourself everything. He says, you are denying yourself everything, so you don't know your Creator has given you everything. So you should ask for this. You should say, I want everything. I desire it all. And then the mind goes, well, if I have it all, then that means there's not going to be enough left for everybody else. You deserve it all because you are all. So just try it. So go, I want everything. And then the minute you go, I want everything, I have everything, I desire everything, you leave it where it is because you don't have closet space. Where would you put everything? Could you get everything in a U-Haul? No, you end up leaving it exactly where it is, but being able to enjoy it completely. Hello? So try that. I deserve everything. It says, my Creator watches over me, denies me nothing. When I deny my Creator, I don't know this because I'm denying myself everything. So you who could give, it says right here, you who could give the love of God to everything you see. You could give the love of God to me. I could give the love of God to you. We could give the love of God to everything we see. You could give the love of God to everything you touch. You could give the love to God to everything you remember. You are literally denying heaven to yourself. You are literally denying wealth to yourself. You are literally denying freedom and peace and love and happiness to yourself. So I want you to remember one thing. You have been called, and you have been called to teach the kingdom to the kingdom. You've been called to teach love to the kingdom. You've been called to demonstrate truth. You've been called, what does that mean? That sounds like a sacrifice. No, now as part of this agreement, you're going to have to be willing to have joy, willing to have things be natural to you. You're going to have to be willing to not to do things that's against your nature. You're going to have to be willing to be in a state of grace. You have to be willing to be in your natural state. You're going to have to be willing to be in an environment that you function well. You're going to have to be willing to be in an environment that you're not going through a strain. You're going to be willing to be with love all the time. You're going to have to be willing to be in environments that are more worthy of you than what you can come up with for yourself. You got to be willing to be all the time, have the protection of peace and love shining on you. You're going to have to be willing, if you're going to be one of the teachers of God, you're going to have to be willing to have your heart untouched by fear. You're going to have to be willing to give always without ever losing. You're going to have to be willing to be in an environment that you didn't make that's going to create unlimited happiness for you all the time, that doesn't deny you anything. I'm sorry.
Wow. Wow.
That's what you're going to have to be required to go, I am willing, I am willing, I am willing. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but that's not my business. My job is to decide on the direction I want to go in, and the Holy Spirit, the universe, will take care of the rest. That's the promise. Thank you for listening to this message of the Holy Spirit. Whoa, 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 whoa. And one more time. Oh, Lord have mercy. My mighty companions online. Lord have mercy. Okay. I'm going to do one little quick thing, and then you can run out for your life. Okay? Because this right here is deep. This is deep. God is requesting too much. Just requesting too much whatsoever. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for sharing with me. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Those of you online, if you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, just go to my website, Earl Purdy, PURDY.com. I truly appreciate that. I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions. One-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions. One-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions. How do you apply this? How do you do this? How do I relate this to my personal experience? Go to my website. It explains it in detail. And you can book an appointment with me right online. Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock, Mountain Time, The Way of Mastery. If you haven't checked out The Way of Mastery, it's also another channel book, just like The Course in Miracles, that approaches this from another angle that's awesome and that's powerful. So check that out. And on Thursday nights, I do Hardcore Course in Miracles. And that's for people who are studying the Course. Anybody can watch, but it's especially aimed at people who are studying the Course, to take advantage of all the time that I've spent in it, to help with the simplicity of it. Have you noticed that even though I'm going practically line by line, you're understanding everything that you're hearing, which blows that whole theory of I can't read the Course. Because that's why I work with the book. Of course, after all these years, I could not have the book in front of me. But I want the book in front of you and the book in front of me. You know, a good teacher is ultimately trying to make themselves unnecessary. And I am so successful at that. It's amazing how many people I'm unnecessary with. See, what I thought was failures, God showed me I've been enormously successful. That's what you find out. When you really get into the truth, you'll find out that what you thought were reversals of fortune was the best thing that could ever happen to you. And things that you thought was the best thing that ever happened, you set you back so far, you don't even know. Oh, I'm telling you, we don't have to figure out what's already been figured out for us. It's already been figured out. It's right here in front of you. Can you love yourself enough to open yourself up to the idea that you may not know everything, and that there's something that you need to hear that can change your whole life? So what was one thing you heard today that you want to remember? Anybody?
Love is easy.
Love is easy.
I did not create myself.
I did not create myself. I love that one.
Happiness is not a physical thing.
Happiness is not a physical thing. Happiness is not a physical thing. It's a mental, heart, spiritual thing. But let me say this over and over again. Beep, 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 beep. I am not putting down physical material reality. I am not putting down the material physical reality. I am not saying it's something wrong with you wanting a house and a car and the clothes and to lose 10 pounds or get rid of your cellulite or whatever you think you need to do in order to be happy. I'm not saying that. The world is neutral. The world is neutral. That's why you don't have to feel guilty about nothing in the world. It's all about what do we want to use it for. A surgeon can use a knife to save somebody's life, and a murderer can use it to appear to take it. The knife is neutral. You are neutral. Your body is neutral. Everything is neutral. So get off the physical body being this root of sinfulness or guilty. You know what I'm saying? Your body is neutral. It's just what do you want to use it for? And it's not but two things you can use it for: to wake up or go to sleep, to be awake and aware, or to be unconscious, for love or fear. I know the ego wants to make it more complicated than that, but it's not. And you can't make yourself happy. You know you can't. You've been trying to do it as long as you've been on this planet, and you've never successfully did it other than temporary. If you be honest with yourself, you know what I'm saying is the truth. The Course said you can always tell when you've gotten something that your ego has told you to get. It's just because you won't be satisfied. That's how you know your ego wanted you to get that relationship, because now you got it and you're not appreciating it, or now you have the job and you're not appreciating it. That's because you made that up. Now, here's the beautiful thing the Course teaches, is that the Holy Spirit, our divine guide, can take us right where we are with anything we've made and use it to free us. So you, just like a GPS, you make a wrong turn, it reroutes you from right where you are. It doesn't say go back. It says, okay, let me do this thing, let me reroute this whole thing. That's you. So no matter what you've made, no matter what you've created, no matter whatever situation you're in right now, the God positioning system, GPS, can really put you right back on track to your goal. Isn't that good? Isn't that great? 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 So, mighty companions, may the Course be with you.
And I'll go with you.
Hugs. Also, it's great to see Susan back here today. Our mighty companion that's been everywhere. And this has just been everywhere. That's right. And she has everything. Everywhere. So you all are awesome. I appreciate you. You're a blessing in my life. And hugs are available. See you next time. Mighty companions online. I love y'all.